Hey folks, Jack with Rivercat Blues. Going to do something quite different today. I usually don't do a do-it-yourself video, but we're going to work on a reel today. I've been buying several old vintage reels from eBay, as you can tell. I'm going to work on every one of these, get them going. Some of them are not in very good shape, but I didn't pay much for them. Got a couple old rods here too. Old Gilligan Island rods is what I call them. He used, him and the skipper used some rods like this in some of their episodes. But anyway, we're going to work on a reel today. I'm going to show you how I service one of these old reels. And let's go from there. This is the tools that I'm going to be using. I like to get them all laid out and ready to go. I'll kind of explain how I'm going to use these and show you. This is the reel we're going to be working on today. Okay, this reel here, it's the Atlas. You can read that. By the Kalamazoo Company. Shakespeare, I believe, makes these. This old reel, it's hard to crank. You can hear it, and it's got a hesitation to it. I think there's a bunch of dried grease, bunch of dirt, hopefully nothing broke inside, but we're going to find out. I've been pretty lucky fixing up these old reels, taking them apart. Sometimes I've found some old line wrapped around the gears. Take that away, clean them up. They work really well. I'm hoping we'll get this one to working good too. I put plastic gloves on. You never know what's going to be inside of one of these. The old grease, dirt, no telling what's in some of these where people's had them apart and tried working on them or something years and years ago, or maybe they've never been apart. I don't know. We're going to take this one apart though. All right, folks. I'm going to start by taking this handle off. Now I would suggest maybe getting something like a little bowl or something to put all these parts in so you don't use them. I'm just going to lay them here for now and hope for the best. But definitely a little something would help if you could put all your parts in. Especially little screws and stuff like this. We'll take this apart here. And I try to keep my little group together, like everything outside of here I'll try to lay in one spot so we don't mix it up with something else. I'm expecting to find quite a bit of grease, dried grease and grime and all kinds of stuff in this reel. Oh yeah. Nasty stuff. No wonder it ain't working. Oh boy, look at this. Ain't no telling when this thing's been taken apart. These are pretty simple little reels. Let me show you here. If it ain't stuck in there, there she comes. Your little spindle. Should have 2 gears right here. Boy, that's nasty. We definitely need to take it apart. You should have the 2 gears right here. They're all cruddy. We're going to clean these up real good too. Lay everything right here for now. Let's take the spool out. The spool should just pull out on this model here. Maybe. Yep, there it comes. Spool just comes out. It don't look too bad on that side. That's what the inside of it's going to look like. Your clicker is right here. I don't even know if this one works. Let's see. Let's see if it's working inside of there, if you can tell. Yeah, it's going to work. So we're going to clean that up real good. Okay, let's go to the next step. I'll show you why I have these gloves on. Well, you can kind of see why I have these gloves on, but let's go to the next step and get this stuff cleaned up the way it should be. All right, folks, I just get a trash can or something so that we don't, I use WD-40. Get you a good brush. This looks like a big old toothbrush for a horse or something, but it's you don't want anything real soft. You want it, you know, to be able to clean, bristly. A toothbrush might work if it's not a super soft one. But anyway, here's what I'm using. Just keep your gloves on. Spray that grime a little bit. Get your brush. And get in there. Woo, it's nasty, nasty stuff here. And then get you some paper towels, folks. A whole roll. I ain't gonna use the whole roll, but I use quite a bit of it. And then I just get in here and just, you want to wipe the glove off too, but just get in here and wipe this all off. We want this looking as good as we can. Starting to look better. Look better than it did, huh? Now I use these Q-tips a lot too. I want to clean it all up, so we're even going to go in here and kind of get in there as best I can, twist that around. Look at that. Just trying to clean this reel up as best we can. We want all this old stuff. There's no telling how old some of this stuff is. If this is the original grease, it's as old as the reel, and some of these reels were made in the 50s and 40s and 30s and even 20s. I'm not sure how old this one is. But. And then like you can see right in here where I didn't get it with the brush, I'll just take this and kind of get in here and get that all out of there. I'm going to try to clean in here as best I can where the spindle goes inside of the older bearing here. Yeah, look how nasty that is. We don't want to leave this stuff in there to turn when we put our new grease and stuff on. If we can get in there and get some of that out, we're going to get it out. We're going to do the same thing with the gears. Remember how dirty and nasty they were? I'm just going to hit them a little bit, and we're just going to take that same brush. And then to get inside the actual gears here, I'm just going to take it and run it across and turn it a little bit all the way around this little gear here. Because we want all that crud off of this gear right here. Now let's see, let me get another paper towel. See if we can make this thing look better. Always got to remember to wipe it off your gloves, because I never do, and then I put crap right back on the gear or whatever I'm cleaning. You can see it's starting to clean up here. Just wipe it all over the place. Quite a bit better. And then We're going to do the same with this little thing. Might as well do it real quick. You got to hang on to these. If you drop it, we're going to have to go digging in the waste can. Done that before too. Not bad. Okay, now this was the little spindle gear shaft that those gears were riding on. So we want to get it too. Just a little bit on there. Get her cleaned up as good as we can. We want to give this reel a good chance to work the way we want it to work. Because I'm planning on taking some of these old reels out fishing. Believe it or not, we're going to go catch fish with these old vintage reels. I've always liked them old reels. Kind of a hobby, I guess, collecting them. But, you know, you just wonder who was using them and what they were catching, what kind of fish they were catching, how big they were catching. Some of those old reels, I'm sure, have a really good history. And then some of them probably just sit in the barn forever. You know, people don't have time to go fishing like today. About got this one good too, I think. Quite a bit better. Now these gears, I'll show you how they set on here right now. This little one, well, it sounds like my wife's texting me. This little one goes on first, and they got a notch in them. They're built. They have that squared off notch, and you have to make sure that it goes just right to even get it on here. If you just put it on there, it's probably not. It's not gonna go down on there. So you just kind of twist it, and then it'll pull right down on it, just like that. And then we're gonna lube these up, but I just want to show you how to do this. And then this one, the same way. You just kind of got to twist it around till it goes down in there. There, like that. Well, it ain't supposed to fall off though. like that. These old reels are simple. The only problem with them, you know, they don't have an anti-reverse. The handle spins backwards. They don't have a free spool. So it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to go try it. We're going to give it a shot. Okay, I just brought this whole piece over here. We have the level wind, the worm gear, and the level wind itself right here. There's a gear right here that drives this level wind. You can just pull it off. And it's got a certain way that it goes too. It's kind of notched on one side. You'll figure it out once you look at it. We're going to clean it up here in a minute. But we're not going to take this. I don't think I'm going to take this all the way off. It's super dirty. You can see that. But I think I can clean it with the brushes right in here. But I am going to move it a little bit. Now there's a little clip right here. You just take that clip. You just pull it up like that. And then this, if it's not stuck in there, yeah, there we go. So this will pull out. But I'm not going to take it out all the way. I don't think we need to take it off. So what we're going to do, see if we can clean it right there. And just gently get in here and clean that out. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And you don't want to get rough with it. We don't want to bend the level wind. We're just kind of getting in there and getting that stuff off of it. Spray it good. Oh, it's looking a lot better now. You can see the progress. And I'm just going to spin this just a little bit. Move that gear. We're going to move that gear back a little bit this way. Best we can. It's hard to do when it ain't in there. And then I'm going to clean up. I'm going to clean right in here now. Where that piece was setting, we're going to clean up right where that was setting. And you can turn it a little bit. Now, like I said, you can take these all the way out, but I didn't think I had to, and I think we're going to get it. I believe we're going to get it. I'm going to hit one more time in here. I want this good. I believe we're getting it pretty good, though. And I'm going to douse it down real good here in a second. I won't have to show you all that, but I'm just going to spray the heck out of it with full power on that stream and just blow everything off of here, since I'm not taking it all the way out. But that looks pretty good if you look up in there now. And now I'm just going to, all that grime and stuff that's sitting there, we're just going to wash that out under full power of that WD-40. And we'll go to the next step. All right, folks. Now I'm going to wipe it down. I sprayed it down real good. I don't know if you can see that there's a spool track in the back here, where the spool actually sets in there. You can see that groove right there. I make sure there's nothing setting in it, and all this stuff around the clicker and close to this little bearing right here where that actual spool sets in there. That spindle will go inside of there. Just make sure everything's clean around that. I just take a paper towel and just just wipe the whole reel down. You just want to clean this reel up. Any place you see dirt or grime, get in there and get it. Make it look like that. Just get in there and scrub. Any little thing you see, get it out of there. If you need to spray it again, go ahead. Oh yeah, you can see that's made in the USA there. That's always a plus. Okay, anyway, here we go. Get all this cleaned up here. Oh, I see some down in here. We just want all this out. And I'll get my Q-tip here in a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to show all this, but just make sure you clean everything up. I'm going to get my Q-tip and get down in here and get all that out of there. Then we'll go on. Okay, folks, I went ahead and took the level wind apart. I couldn't get inside of there and blast that out as good as I wanted to with that WD-40 can. So I basically just took it apart. You can see, can't hurry pick this up. Let me get a hold of it with my pliers here. You can see how dirty that paw is. I couldn't get it cleaned up. It's pretty wore out too. It's another problem with these old reels. If you do have something broke, you're going to almost have to buy another old reel to fix it. But I think we can get some use out of this one. But it definitely needs a new paw. But we're going to clean this worm gear all up. And then I'm going to start putting everything back together. And we'll see if we can get this thing to work. Okay, I just brushed that with this. Got it all nice and clean now. And I'm taking this, I just run this through here. You just want to clean everything. Once you get them apart, see there's stuff inside of them everywhere. Just clean them all up as best you can. You want it all nice and clean. We're getting ready to put this back together. Okay, let's start back together here slowly. First thing I'm going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to set it down in here like this. And there's a groove. There's a groove right here that this part right here will run in. You'll see it here in a little bit, but you got to make sure that's in the groove. Not right now, but we will here in a minute. It don't have to be in there right now. We're just going to kind of put it back together. And this square part is where that gear goes. And the gear goes to the outside. So we're going to put this inside. And I'm going to get a little bit of oil. And I'm going to put just a little bit on this right here. And I'm going to put a little bit inside of there. Well, I oiled the wrong thing. Yeah, we do have to have it in here, but I was wanting to put it in here. Let's try that again. Here. Okay. but we do need some in there, but that wasn't exactly what I was trying to do right now. All right. Let's lay this in here. Doesn't matter how right now. Just as long as it's laid in here. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to push it through. And that just slides on. Just like that. Because we don't have it locked down with our stuff. And we got to put our pawl in there too. So then you can push it over into the side. And now we're going to put our pawl in. And it goes, it don't go this way. You have to turn this here piece slides down inside of this worm gear. So it has to go this way. And just stick it in there. Push it down in there. Okay, it's on. And then this little lock piece here goes, I'm going to show you, I haven't showed you this yet because I took it apart when you weren't looking. This little piece right here is going to lock that pawl down onto that worm gear. You can kind of see right there where it's going to go. It's going to lay, well, let me get this turned around there. It's hard to do with these gloves on, but I think a guy ought to wear them. It's going to go right there. Just laid on top of that. And this little screw, which is really going to be hard to do with gloves, is going to go right in there and going to lock this. It's going to lock this down. I'm going to start it without you guys watching because it's probably going to take me 20 minutes to get it started. So we'll go again here in just a second. All right. I did have to take my glove off and I took this bit out and it finally started. I told you it'd take me 20 minutes, 15 anyway. But anyway, we'll get her started down in here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. See if I can get this in here a little better than that. There we go. And then just tighten it down. You don't want to tighten this stuff super tight with these little bitty screws because they will break. Just make sure it's snug. Good enough. Okay. Okay. Next, you can see that little groove right there that I was telling you about right here. And this is below this right here. We have to put it inside that groove. So all you do, if this is way over here or something, just turn it and it'll move. We got that pawl on there. Give yourself a little bit of room. And then we're going to take this out. We're going to take this out of there. And then you can move this piece. And as soon as it gets in that groove, like that, you can see it's in there. We're going to push this all the way over and inside. Now we're ready to put our gear on here in a minute. We got to lock this down first. Remember this little lock right here? We're going to bring this around. Now we're locked in. This can't come out. She's locked in. Now we're going to put her gear on here in just a minute, but we're going to grease this up first. Okay, speaking of grease, this is what I use. It's a blue grease. There's a lot of grease out there for fishing reels. Just make sure you use a fishing reel grease. It's supposed to be better for them, especially if you're in salt water, which I don't fish, but some people do. But anyway, this is what I use. I took an old toothbrush. I just cut the bristles away so that I would have one little area that I can put my grease on. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here. You can see that it's beveled, it's cut square in one place. Otherwise, the shaft here is round. Well, the gear is cut the same way. It's square, so you got to find that one spot. Just twist it around until it goes on. I ain't doing very good today, folks. I got the wrong dadgum gear. No wonder it wasn't going on. Here it is. There it is. Okay, let's try this again. I don't think you people want me to work on your reels. It may not work when you get it back. Okay, just move it around, and there it popped on. So now I'm going to take my grease, and I'm just going to hit it here and there. This will just brush it right on. Don't need a whole lot, but you want it covered. Okay, everything's covered there, so I think we're good to go there. All right, folks, we're about ready to put the spool inside. I've cleaned it real good. Just do the same thing, just take your brush. I don't think I did this over there with you guys a while ago, but just spray it, take your brush, clean it all up good. Both sides. This is for the clicker. This is your gear over here for the clicker. So we already put oil in that bearing over there. If you remember, I messed up a while ago, but we already got it in there. But I'm going to grease this up a little bit for the clicker. Find my right brush here. Tell you, I ain't doing too well today. All right. We're going to put a little bit of grease right here. Now this is the clicker side. Okay. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to push it all the way through and put it in the other side of this bearing right there. So we're going to push it through. And it's in that bearing. Before I do that, though, I'll show you something else I like to do. Maybe if I can get it back out. Okay. That little groove for the spool that goes all the way around the inside of this reel, I like to take a drop of oil, just put it in here on each side of that. Forgot to do that. Now we're going to stick it back in here, going right back in. There, it locked in. Okay, we're locked in now. So, I'm going to grease this up right here. And then we're going to start working on the actual gears, the main gears. So let's go ahead and grease that. Just going to put a little bit right here. All right, that's good enough. And let's go to the next step. All right, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We're going to actually put the gears together on the actual spindle here. The gear drive here. So I'm going to oil just a little bit of this up. I always put a little bit of oil on it. We'll just go ahead and lay that down. No, actually, and we're going to pop these gears on there right now. So let's go ahead and grease this one up. Don't take a whole lot of grease, but you just make sure you get it all covered. And then this is going to go down on this spindle right here. Remember, you got to turn it to get it on there. There, it slid all the way down. All right, let's do the next one here. Just turn it all the way around, get every one of them. Take a little bit, but we got to get it all on here. All right, I think I made it all the way around it. And it's going to slide down on here too. There, got it all the way down. It's all the way on. So now we're going to put it inside of here. As soon as I clean my hands up a little bit. Okay, the next thing is we're going to put it on our plate here, our side cover plate. It's going to go right through here. Now, sometimes this is a little tricky. These gears will fall forward. They do with me anyway. So we're just going to try to hold it and kind of push them in there. See how it fell forward? So now I'm going to take it back off. Get them back down on there again. We'll try this one more time here. I'm just going to try to push it through here and keep them there. Now they're flat. See, they got to be flat all the way on there. And I'm going to put my finger right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on to hold that system all together. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but now this has this square too, and it just you'll see how it's fitted for it. You know, it just goes down on there and just turn it around until it goes down tight. Which I don't have it on there yet. There. Now you can see it's down tight. And we're going to put our cap on it. If I can do it with my gloves on. Oh wow, got that started. And then we're going to snug it down. This don't have to be super tight. Not right now. Wrong wrench. That's good enough for now. Okay. You can see it's on there. Now we're going to match it up to this. Now this particular reel has a little plastic plate. Some of them don't. Some of them are just have the steel side plate. I have very few reels, old reels with this piece on it, but I do have some. But we're going to put it right on there. Okay. This little gear right up here, this one right here. This plastic piece has a cutout for it right there. So you know exactly, see it's not on this side. You know exactly how this goes back on. And that's another thing that before I put this on, there is a gentleman that has a YouTube channel. I think it's called Second Chance Tackle. Maybe that's the name of it. Second Chance Tackle. I hope that's the name of it. But that is very well worth looking up because he does all kinds of different reels. That's what he does. And he is amazing. He'll show you way better than what I'm showing you. I mean, I just do this for fun. He does it for real. And he is very good. I've sent some reels out to him. He's worked on them. He does a fantastic job. I believe it's called Second Chance Tackle. Just do yourself a favor. If you're gonna tear into any reel, look him up because he might already have a video on there that shows you exactly how to do it. He recommends taking some pictures along the way. That's a real good recommendation because then you know exactly what you've done wrong or what you've left out, or it's just a good idea. But anyway, this piece here, we're going to put it right in there, and it fit right up. You can see it inside of there. Now we're going to try to match this up, and you might have to turn. You might have to turn the spool. You might have to turn this a little bit for everything to match up, but it will match up. Before I do that, I'm just going to drop a little bit of oil right down in this little bearing. And let's see if we can get this together, hopefully. Maybe. All right, here we go. I just kind of look down in there and make sure everything's going right. And make sure your holes are lining up. There, it popped together. Before I put these screws in, I'm going to hold this reel together real tight. And I'm going to see if this moves, and I'm going to see if the spool moves. Looks like everything's moving. All right. Hopefully, we got this right. I'm going to put these 2 screws in. Oh boy, I'm going to have to take my gloves off for that. As soon as I get them started, we'll start again. I got them started. Another 10 minutes of my life gone. But they're going in. They're going in. I got to be careful here. That's if you get in a hurry, a lot of times I'll put my thumb up there, because you'll slide off of this and you'll scratch. I mean, I know this is an old reel, but you'll scratch your reels up if you ain't careful, or I will anyway. But don't super tighten these. I mean, these are little screws. They don't take a lot. Usually I take my thumb and kind of lay it up like this, and then just hold it there. Ooh, that one's plenty tight too. I'll double check this one, but I don't want them too tight. That's good right there. All right, now the test. Let's go ahead and oil this up a little bit first. I cleaned the worm gear real good, so we want to put some oil back on it. I know it's going to crank. I know it's going to crank. Now these old things will make a little bit of noise. Those gears are turning. You're going to hear them in there, but I already tell it's a lot smoother. See what I'm saying? These go backwards too. So they're a little tricky to throw, I'm sure, but let's see. You can hear it in there. Let's see what we got. Not bad. Now I might need to loosen something up too, right? Let's see if we can get it a little bit better than that. Oh, look at that, folks. Oh, yeah, look at that, huh? Let's try it again. Let me hang on to this. All right. Well, it's working good. I think it's getting looser. I don't want to loosen these up too much. Let's see if the clicker works. Look at that. All right, folks. About as good as I can do. We got her all greased, oiled, cleaned, ready to go fishing. And we are going to take them fishing. Oh, another thing. If you get a reel, if you buy one off eBay or wherever, the antique malls have them too. If these don't turn, a lot of times I'll spray some WD-40 on both sides of these. Work them. Just keep working them. And most of the time, about 90% of the time, I'll get them to turn. And then once they start turning, you might get a little heavier grade of oil and put down in here. And then you should be good. But this one is fine. I didn't have to oil it any. But that will loosen these up, or if one's squeaking, you can oil this up and this handle it'll quit squeaking. All right, folks, that's about all I got today. I know this video was a lot longer than what I wanted it to be, but I just didn't want to leave anything out in case somebody was getting ready to do this for the first time. I just kind of wanted to show everything that I could think of anyway. But I put these reels here together. This is the one that we did. We did this one today. We did the Atlas. But this is the Shakespeare. A Shakespeare. I've got several of them. This is the Bronson. This is a Pfluger. This is a Union Hardware. Now this one's a lot older than the rest of them. I believe when I bought this one, they said it was somewhere in the late 20s, early 30s. It doesn't have a level wind on it. The rest of them do. But all these reels are pretty much the same inside when you take them apart. The gears and everything are really, really close. So you could take any of these reels right here apart and they're going to be really close to this one. So it doesn't matter which old reel you get. They're going to be very, very close. They're very simple reels. You know, they're not like today's reels, that's for sure. They are very simple. But I kind of like them. We're going to try to fish with them. We're going to see what's going to happen. All right. I hope this video helped somebody. Anyway, everybody keep doing what you're doing out there. Keep on fishing. And rods down, people. Rods down.